The advocate would hire you to take that one.
All right.
I told you what we thought you should do.
All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Wilton Community School District, Wednesday, February 8th, 2023 school board meeting. The mission of the Wilton Community School District is to provide an education that encourages continual progress through the improvement of one's abilities, expansion of one's interests and knowledge, and the growth of one's character. Call to order, please. Roll call. Joy.
Yes, Tim Barrett.
Here.
Linda Duncan.
Here.
Sean Pitzer.
Here.
Rob Metzger.
Here.
And Tara Owen.
Here. Thank you, Joy. Agenda approval. Any additions, changes, or corrections, Mr. Burnett?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll do the minutes approval. We have January 11th regular meeting and the January 25th work session.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we go to Angela.
Oh, good.
Please, thank you. I
Keep it
know,
going.
yeah.
We were instructed to do it. Joy has.
Upload form, taxation fund reports. All report balances are up except for the management fund and for Pebble. And every January, we have to make our retirement payments to Mid-America. So if you look under Fund 22, the management fund, under the expenditures, you'll see that $64,560. And that's a wired payment. So that's something that you won't see in the board bills. And then Fund 36, Pebble, payment of the bus, the 72.5 came out of there. So the balance reflects that expenditure now. Upload number 5, ISP. Since we are through January, I will make sure that everyone is well aware of their remaining budgeted expenditures for the year. This last month, our expenditures were $89,000, and a lot of that was due to the MCC concurrent and academy classes. Upload 6, our self-insurance fund, just a small dip in the balance. Our expenditures for dental, and I think a lot of people, because of Christmas break, must go to the dentist. That's my guess. But last month it was 6,000 and this month it was 11,000. So we just have a small dip in our balance, but our balance is just fine for self-insurance. A latchkey, we're keeping a close eye on that. Anne's doing a fantastic job. We're just fine with our balance there. I do plan to meet with her this month sometime to start talking about what we might want to do for fees for this next fiscal year. Nutrition fund, as you know, is always just fine.
Yeah.
And then I just want to mention on upload 11, the student activity fund, we just have a few negative balances. The musical drama, we'll have to end up just transferring money from general fund to cover that $331. And then the elementary vocal, that is in the hole because they are doing instrument rentals right now so that the kids can kind of figure out, experience, get acclimated to some of the different instruments to see if they might like those. Just yesterday, Joy received $1,500 that was reimbursed. It's PTO and the Fine Arts Guild who will cover those expenses. And then you're used to seeing the canteen until spring and summer arrive. Those will be at those amounts. And activity driving, same, just busy with activities, with basketball, wrestling, and all that. So the last upload that I would like you to just look over is the board bills. That is upload 14. And you'll see transportation credit card had several expenditures as well as central office. February 1st was the deadline for all the Townsend orders. So we had a lot come in last minute. And we had one where I said, if your basketball players show up late, it's their consequence.
Good for you.
When it came through late, I'm like, So I just had to razz them about that, but those are all done. So those are in there. And then it's first semester tuition billing for open enrollment. So we have some school districts that we paid out on that. Otherwise, nothing out of the norm with the rest of the board bills. Does anyone have any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Angela.
I'm sorry, Linda, I just have one last thing to mention. I had a region meeting today and we found out that our supplemental state aid is being set at 3%.
Yes.
So, our new money for this next fiscal year is $252,492.
Do you have any predictions on what will happen with like insurance costs or any of that yet, or is it too early? For the
Talked about that today. Some people range anywhere from 2% all the way up to over 10%. And I thought Lana said 9.6% for us.
We're still exactly with our group and with Cross and looking at different packages, you know, whether it affects deductibles, et cetera, et cetera. But I would anticipate somewhere around that 8% range when the dust settles.
Sure.
That's my guess, but again, it could be 9, could be a little less.
West Liberty said theirs is 9.9%. So
The good news is for us, because we also have that self-insurance portion, we have the ability to do a little bit of work on our side too, if we wanted to, as far as, you know, a deductible.
Open. Yeah.
But why Rob asked this, I would guess, is then we can dig into interest-based problem solving once we know that.
Mhm.
So I'm hopeful by our March board meeting, within the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have our insurance renewable rate. And then start that process. Typically, on the board, you know, that we've been very blessed to have a good group to work with, and we usually wrap it up the end of March, 1st April as a team. But once we know SSA and we know insurance, we can dive into negotiations, basically. That's what that is. It's rare, however, that we've had SSA before
Mhm.
our insurance renew.
Yeah.
Sometimes our SSA, we don't know till middle of April, based on what the legislature says. So this, I don't know of many times where I've known this
Mhm.
before the insurance ever.
No.
That I can
Unusual,
recall.
very unusual.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's good.
All right, we'll move on.
Thanks, Ange, for reporting that.
Me.
Mrs. Austin, please.
Yeah, let's see, what do we got going here? Class screening is probably, that was what we were very much looking forward to, those numbers. And we were pleased with the numbers. We had, that's our school-wide goal. And 96% of our kids grew and 91% of them grew in the right, correct amount that we kind of self-imposed upon them. It's always a little bit of a balance, working hard to improve the scores, yet keeping books in their hands and making sure they love reading. You know, because at the end of the day, just because they can read, you still want them to read. We still have some work to do between 1st and 3rd grade. We will continue their class-wide interventions. The bottom chart, if you scroll down there, you can see on the diagonal from 21, 22, 22, 23 would be the same kids. And you do see a fairly consistent growth pattern, which again pleases us because that would be the kids last winter, the same kids plus or minus move-ins.
Mhm.
You know, that can affect it, as well as when we dial it down to students. We can see that a little bit. But truly, we all grew or stayed pretty steady, except that 1st and 2nd grade. went from a 67 to a 57. So we've dug into that a little bit and think we've got some answers there. It's always really good, I think, to base all of our decisions on data. That next paragraph that you see, I describe what we do in the winter as far as all the data and again, that's kind of a balance because it takes a lot of time to do all the assessments. And we go back on and forth on that a little bit, but it's really the only way we can get a true match to what the child is missing and what the child needs, especially if they need intervention. So we do work on that pretty hard. The I block, if you continue to scroll, the I block data is there. Now we've already finished. We are just finishing, I should say, the fourth cycle. Yes. But again, we're really pleased with how the kids get out of they test out of the cycle they're in. And when we get to 5th and 6th grade, they are all on benchmark. Well, not all, but 86 and 93. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm very happy with how our systems work. 2 Tipton teachers and their instructional coach came on Thursday. They are working on some of the things that we have been working on. And so it's always good to share that and hear their, again, we're really blessed when you compare our resources and our professional development and the work our teachers do. We've got a really good staff and system in place. Grant Elementary, which is a very interesting, and I think I might have alluded to that with this group. They're coming to see some of our Leader Me work, and they were the first school that we went to when we started it. It's kind of a,
Nice.
again, the flow of life. Family Resources Outreach came and talked to the secondary and the elementary at-risk and counselors and shared some really good programming out there that we can take advantage of. Parent-teacher conferences, in the spring, we do the leadership portfolios, which is always a really positive experience for our kids. Roller skating, wrapping it up. Everybody got 5. I was worried about if we could get them in, but we're going to get them in. Everybody's going to get 5. And yeah, kids really like that. It's fun. It's something different that they get to do. Dr. Place is reading every morning, K4 in the library. And attendance goes up and down depending on the book and what the kids decide is in their best interest that morning. But it's nice that she does that. Again, it just promotes reading. FFA week, we've got a lot of FFA kids coming into the building. That's starting that 21st of February. So I'll be anxious to see it's the first time they've done it. So it'll be fun to see how our kids respond. K2 Parent Night, I'll come back with the sessions. We're busy at the end of February. And on the back, or my back, your next page is what Angela alluded to, the big modern rock band unit. Kids seem to really like it once we have the headphone situation squared away. So my hope is that we can bring in a couple of them to share with you their learning. But anytime you get 5 electric guitars, 5 bass guitars, 5 keyboards, and 5 drum sets. It's really cool. And they are just,
Jamming.
yeah, they're jamming. And I do hope it springboards into something we can use at the secondary level. And hopefully Townsend's will continue, or that we can go to Townsend's now that PTO and Fine Arts got us started. If it works, you always got to make sure the kids. We finished interviewing for our counselor position yesterday and are just now waiting. A position has been offered and accepted, but we have to let, of course, the candidate talk to her home district, and a lot of good experience and really good candidates.
Good.
Been 9, which is
That's
pretty good.
very good.
But again, it's February.
Yes, it is. That always helps.
Yes, always. Any questions for me?
Real quick, Denise.
Yeah.
Is ELI law K through 3?
Eli Law,
Yeah,
early literacy.
okay.
So they require that they choose the tests that you give and require it to be given to all K3 students 3 times a year.
Okay.
We do it K6, but the law mandates that you use this because you used to be able to choose whatever you wanted. And now it's actually a fluency passage. The little ones are identification of letter sounds and names, but it's a fluency, which research tells you if they can read fluently, they'll be able to comprehend because they aren't spending so much time putting the letters together. So that's why, but again, it's a balance because you really don't want kids to read so fast, they don't know what they read either.
Mhm.
So we try to tell them the difference between fluent and fast. Oh, yes,
Thanks.
that's mandated by law that we.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Austin. Mrs. O'Connell, you're next.
Well, we've had a lot going on at the secondary level, especially extracurricular activities. The first thing I wanted to alert you, and I'm sorry, I see why you didn't share my report. Did you notice that? Something else got put in the middle of it from a different thing. I don't know if you got that or not, but anyway, I just shared it with everybody again.
I've got it.
Okay, good.
I uploaded it. It should be.
All right.
I have it.
So we sent a science bowl team out to state for competition, and I'm really excited to say that they got the furthest they've ever been in the tournament. They made it all the way through to the double elimination rounds, and they're really excited because we hadn't done it, I think, the last couple of years, or if it was on Zoom. So we've gone back out, and it's just it's a cool group of kids that I think really represented our school well. Sounds like they had a great time, and that's coached by Rick Beckley, and Rebecca Bruno assisted. So hopefully that's going to grow, and we're also planning on starting a mathletes team next year. So we want to kind of develop some more of this, and our kids are excited about that. So we'll see what happens. I know also we've talked about, is it time to enter into the robotics competitions and teaming and stuff too? We've changed, as you saw at the work session, we kind of changed some of our progressions, how we're going to introduce coding and robotics and things like that from 7 through 12. So I think in the long run, that's going to pay off for us well. We also sent a group to jazz choir states. We haven't done that competition before, and I listed the kids in there. Mrs. Norman's the the choir teacher. This year they went just for comments only because it was our first time going, and I think they all thought it was a very positive experience. I know they worked hard and they were excited about it. So that would be nice to, it's not jazz choir or show choir involves, choreography and a lot of the large scale productions. Jazz choir doesn't. It's really based back on the voices and the harmony and less of the jazz hands. So it might be a good fit for Wilton, especially with, our kids are in everything. So this might be really be something we can continue on. I'm hoping that we keep doing that. Gabriel Bourne, I invited Gabe to come tonight. Maybe he'll stop in. He was a little sheepish, but if you haven't heard it, I'm sure you have. Gabe was announced as the 1A wrestling coach of the year. Well deserved. Very excited for him. He's, a little humble. He just wants to keep the spotlight on the kids, but the entire coaching staff, as long as our wrestling team, has been outstanding this year. As you know, state runner up on Saturday of the duels. I'm still really sore from doing every move with every kid all weekend long. Mr. Burnett was there. I know I'm obnoxious, but man, I just got to do it with him, even in my chair. We have districts on Saturday, so that should keep going. And I did put some things in here about, we were the RBC wrestling conference champs, and we were the RBC basketball boys South champs. And our records there too, 12-0 conference record. Aiden Walker scoring over 500 points, Landon Puckman over 500, Caden Kirkman breaking the single season record with 538 plus points, and the team set the records of 100 points scored, 34 steals and 31 assists in a game. Also, I put up there with Caden Shirk getting 150 wins. That's insane. That is so many wins. And Trey Hagan getting his 100. What a fun night that was too, as we won the duels competition that night. We have a lot of, I just kind of wanted to show you the list because we have a lot of outstanding kids. They're not, we have lots of areas for them, from the play to the science bowl to jazz choir. I'm so proud of our kids and that the risks that they take, but the hours that they put in. to really do well at things and to, make our school and community proud. So I'm pretty happy and excited for all of them. Greenhouse renovations, good Lord. We had a team out here Saturday morning. A little update on that. The insurance has given us our claim came through for a tune of about 12,000. Yeah. And if we also replace 3 different other areas, we could get another 6,000 from the insurance company. All good. One of the things that they said we could get more money for was a controller for the air temperature. We had got a brand new one donated to us, which is about a $3,000 thing. We've had quite a few individuals and businesses start talking to our ag teachers about donations for the greenhouse from, some of our plumbing to electricity to even starting over with our aqua. I'm not going to get that word right. Aqua farming. Aquaponics, yes. Our equipment just was rolling from sitting out there, not being taken care of. And so we've gotten people calling us saying they would donate all new stuff to us. It's still going to be pricey as we bring this back, but I think it's going to be, the kids are getting excited about it. We're going to do a spring plant sale coming up. So we're starting all that. So that's a big thing. It's taking a lot of energy and time, and we're coming back out Saturday morning before district wrestling to work on the greenhouse again. So all good there. Interviews for the science position will begin to take place next week. Looks like our first round will be Monday after school. Also, a couple other things I didn't put in here. Wilton is going to be hosting a day coming up in April where we're going to have, and I'm going to go back to this to read it because it's something with for CTE, and we're having like the Iowa Motor Division come for to have our kids learn a little bit about different trucks, semis, parts, and what it takes to learn how to drive one. And we'll have a couple different vehicles parked out in our parking lot. And they've asked if we would invite Durant too. So that'll be great. But the kids will get a chance to see what it's really like to go into trucking and logistics and everything that has to do with that profession. So we're lucky to host that. We just have quite a few things coming up in that different areas. So I'm trying to think, there was another one. Oh, MTSS. Next year will be the first time our junior high starts, which is interventions, which the elementary has been doing now for a while. We're going to start adding junior high into that. Ms. Weekly, Mr. Meyer, myself, and Mr. Patterson met today to talk about time to sit down and start brainstorming and coming up with our procedures, plans, and what we need for our staff for training. So that will be coming up here in the next 2 months. Hoping to get kind of a overarching plan designed and then fine-tuned with our staff on how this is going to work. But my goal for next year would to really look at those missing assignments and reduce that down from 52% of our junior high kids having missing assignments. Let's get that down to a more manageable. Great to have 0%, but if we could even get that in half down to 25% and show that kind of growth, I think that would be a goal attainable for our first year entering into helping kids with different types of issues, including organization, executive function, and gaps in their academic learning. So we just have to come up with an idea and a plan that encompasses all of those areas. At the same time, we have kids that won't have anything out late, or they need extra challenges, or an opportunity maybe to do some community service work or something different. We have to look at that side of the coin too. What are we going to do with kids that have everything and that are making great growth. And so stay tuned. I'm excited. I think this is going to be fun. I think we're just going to bring a lot more supports and hopefully opportunities for growth to our junior high kids. And then eventually maybe move that to at least ninth grade as we keep going. So ninth grade had the largest group of kids ineligible after semester. We know that there's a gap there of transitioning from eighth to ninth. We've had great staff members do a lot of brainstorming prior to me even coming to Wilton about what can we do. Well, now we're tracking all this data to show where our gaps are. And we know that that is a big challenge for a freshman. We need to come up with something to help them. So that's on the books. Great. Question?
Just to piggyback off what you were talking about last night, we were sitting up there and my dad leading down and he goes, this is what small town living is right here. He goes, we've got a lot to be thankful for. And I'm like, he's right. You know, watching that whole event from 4:30 till the end of that game.
Wasn't that fun?
It was amazing how many kids were, that we hit. And he was right. And he was, I'm just like,
And good food from Arby's.
Good
Anyone have
food,
a
yeah.
tenderloin? I had the tenderloin.
just the whole thing was.
FFA bake sale.
Yeah.
FFA bake sale.
Oh, yeah. Other than the heat.
Other than
But,
how hot it is.
I know, the higher you go, the worse it gets.
Went outside, it was like a
But
20
no,
degree.
I mean, it
And I
was-
couldn't wear my coat. Just into the open area. It was like, oh, thank
It was
you.
a fun night.
That is something that, yeah,
That was a fun night.
as my husband said to me on the ride home, what a great community.
Yeah.
Said, you're really blessed to be at Wilton. I said, yeah, we have great kids, great staff, great parents, great community. Really, honestly, we are really blessed.
Good.
And it's fun to see the kids, like all different kids come out and get honored for different things. And I think we're gonna get better.
The dance teams out there. I mean, there's just everything. There's so
Yeah.
much cool
The
stuff.
national
It's a
anthem.
great night.
Yeah.
The national anthem was awesome. They did
That
a
was
really good
great.
job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Been a fun week.
On the science interviews, I'm assuming, have you gotten a lot of applications on
Not a
that?
lot.
Not a lot?
Well, I've got three good ones. I'll just put it at that. There's a couple others that are people from like foreign countries, and not saying I wouldn't entertain that, but not sure, that's a easy move for them to make. But
Word about Wilton's really gotten out there.
wide.
Quality over quantity.
Wow.
Yeah. All three that we're looking to interview are experienced and have a really good mix of qualifications. Because in science, you can have the 512 science, but you also have to have chemistry. You have to have physics. You have to have separate things. And the three that we're looking at have everything that I think that we can dream of pretty much. So, yeah.
Exciting.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now we will go on to action items. Yeah, because you can look at Ryan's report.
So you talked a lot
Yeah.
about athletics.
Right, also, but I don't want to forget him. All right, consent agenda number 1. A lot going on.
Yeah, it's a busy month with two of the employees on there. They're asking to resign and also retire. And then some, Scott Holmes with the coaching and Allison with the associate position. Approved the transfer of Mr. Meyer from his assistant principalship to the elementary principalship. I was visiting with Denise. It's hard to believe it's been 9 years since she was in that role.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Mr. Meyer and his role the last 9 years, stepping away from that when we had budgetary cuts. And knowing he would go back into that, I don't know if he'd have thought, or Denise, it would have been 9 years. But it certainly went fast from my perspective.
I agree.
It did.
And then the two job descriptions there with the activities director and the assistant activities director, detention room supervisor. Are there any specific questions that you have on any of those? Some of them are more active personal change.
Well, with the February 1st deadline of,
Exactly.
these are the right retirees.
Yeah, and with the transfer request being made and approved tonight, we have posted the assistant 7-12 principal and the curriculum director. I know we have 2 people interested. I would like to have interviews for that. If we have teaching positions for internal transfers, we just do it in-house, but because it's an administrative position,
Mhm.
I think it's important to have some people serve. Be nice if a couple board members are willing to serve, and enjoy, or some, central office and a couple teachers, et cetera, because that's a higher level position. So I will keep you posted with that. We'll see if we have any more applicants with that, but probably someday after school. Probably wouldn't do an evening type thing. It might be something where, depends on how many we have apply.
Mhm.
It's about 45 minutes interview. There's 2 that apply. We just do it back to back and go from there. So I'll keep you posted with that. That's all I have on consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda number 2, which is
Yeah,
policy.
policies in the 503 series and dealing with
Mhm.
student conduct, suspension, expulsion, et cetera. It comes in front of the board when there's an expulsion situation. I know Tim hasn't been through one to my knowledge, or Tommy being on here, but the other 3 have. If we're in a situation where all avenues have been exhausted and we try to do our very best to avoid expulsions, that's not the best for the student, in our opinion. But sometimes it does warrant it, unfortunately, based upon behaviors. But you can see how that lays out there. There's different rules for students that are in special ed versus regular ed, and things that we have to follow. Anytime we go through an expulsion, I get our attorney involved to make sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's. So try to do things by the book. Are there any specific questions? There's a couple that we pulled to consent agenda number 3 for first readings. We have some recommended changes. So that's why you don't see any tweaks on those under consent agenda number 2.
Consent agenda number 2.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda 3.
You can see where we changed the fines, fees and charges there, striking. And then letter B, the whole application, where we want to delete the standard application.
Yeah, because that's all done online anymore. You don't have to fill out
So
paperwork.
we don't need,
We don't need that.
all right.
Joy, do you want to talk about the letter C? It's just another verbiage piece. 503.R1.
Well, I think we added this one. It was just what we did. Is that a second reading?
It's the first
No,
reading.
first.
Letter C is the first reading.
Yes, it was something that, it was recommended to include the IASB policy primer. So that's why we're putting.
And then you're gonna
Yeah.
tweak it to do, because
Oh, no, we just
It's already.
updated the verbiage. That's what it was on that one.
yeah, because it's gonna be found on the district website and,
Yes.
all right.
Those should be written for.
Like I said, it was just minor. And then the appeal got written form.
Right,
So it's not a new policy. It's just tweaking a few
We could
things.
have added something.
right,
Yeah.
right. All right.
So that's A, B, and C. Letter D and E are our second readings of policies that we talked about last month.
That was the new policy.
That's what Joy was referring
Right.
to.
I was confusing myself.
All right.
And F and G are the district employee retirement programs for Mrs. Denise Austin and Ms. Marshall Hetzler. And we will recognize both of them at the end of the school year.
All
So
right.
I will thank Mrs. Austin appropriately then.
I was gonna say, this is.
I'm not trying to bring in her brain, but we took
I
5
think
months,
she's
Mrs.
okay.
Austin.
I think she's okay with
got a lot of work.
That's right.
I think she's,
I got a lot of work to do.
All right. Yes, you do. We do.
all right. So that's all for consent agenda number 3, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, individual action items.
Yeah, it's our annual agreement sharing month.
Yeah.
It's like award season.
It
I know.
is, it is, it is.
Sharing season.
So you can see A through E there, they're individual action items. We have to take them individually because they're sharing agreements. And everything from my role, the transportation role, we share Mr. Miller, Brad Miller with Durant, Laura Meineke. Meineke.
Mikey.
Meineke.
Oh, it's Mikey too.
And Lana Muller with the human resources piece. So those are the five there. We need them individually. I thought I'd just address all of them.
Right. All right, who wants to start?
I move to approve action.
Well,
item.
the sharing the superintendent, like I struggle with that. I guess if anybody else thinks I'm crazy, let me know. But is there benefit to us that I'm not seeing? I guess that's my question.
Financially, it's a very large benefit.
Okay.
Yeah. There is operational sharing dollars that the state put in place several years ago and they just upped it. But in the past, for example, Wilton and Durant, because they share a superintendent, each gets the equivalent of 8 full-time students on top of, our head count. So if our head count was 900 students, we get to put in 908 is basically how that works. And just to use round numbers, if our number is close to $8,000 per student, it's less than that, but just for even numbers, each district gets $64,000. And on top of that, then you split the superintendent's salary in half. So if you do easy math and the superintendent's package is $200,000 and you split that in half, which means that's $100,000 in the district, and then you get $64,000 on top.
I get it.
That's where it comes into play.
Understood. Okay.
And I think we're lucky because we are so close. We don't have to travel further away. And like Joe said, they just upped the incentive. That's what the state wants.
Now it's going to 9.
The state wants less, well, really they want less school districts, but we were yelled at years ago about that. So this is their next best thing, is to try to at least share a superintendent so that that's
You
the
reduce the
incentive and we're
spend.
closer. Yes.
And you know what? And I've said this too, and I worked with 3 superintendents in Durant before I became the sheriff superintendent. And from just operational sharing opportunities, particularly with students and teachers and whatnot, it is true if you have one head of each school or, that oversees both, it's easier to put those sharing pieces in place. When I worked with the 3 individuals over there who all had a different philosophy about what should we share, how much should we share, what's the transportation route, what times can we do this? Now I've met with the principals and say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Put this together. You know what I'm saying? Having
I get it.
2 leaders over an organization versus 1 over 2 organizations, it helps with those efficiencies. It's been easier to
blend them.
And originally, we were concerned because we had to share Joe.
And I guess that's where I'm at.
I appreciate it, I think.
And truthfully, really,
I'm selfish.
we were too. This was not taken very lightly at all. And Durant was the one that wanted it, and which I was surprised because it wasn't always that way. We had asked before and thought it was a good idea, and no. So they were agreed with it, and that's it. We have to share, but they also know he's ours. The contract is with us, and it's okay. So, and they're happy, and I think we're happy. And if not,
I don't know of any problems with
we
it. I
need
guess
to
I'm
do
just
it
saying,
right-
like,
right
why?
away.
I don't want to give it up if I don't have to.
Right. But yes, I think.
When we were going through budget reductions
Also, yep.
10 years ago, when you're looking to save your money and keep it toward the classroom, keep your cuts away as much as you can from the classroom teacher. It sure made a lot of sense. And at that time, Durant wasn't. So they didn't necessarily have as strong of interest. It's fun. Money talks.
Mhm.
And 5-6 years ago, Durant started their opposite side of the growth. They were losing. It's like, maybe this makes more sense.
Mhm.
Well, that happened to be the time we started to grow again too.
Mhm.
So we thought we would try it, and you know, here's where we're at 5 years later. I can't believe it would be starting this year next year already. It's going fast.
I mean, if nobody else has a problem with that, that's a good explanation, and you're right, money talk, 64,000 is a good persuasive number to
And that's the,
entice me.
that's the state's idea. I mean, it all, that's what they kind of want, so.
I just thought about this. So, it's a 5-minute drive for you or a 5 mile, whatever.
Mhm.
What's the furthest you've ever heard of a shared position that they have to go?
What was
There's
Ken?
people
What was,
drive.
what was Ken doing? Wasn't it?
Wasn't
Mark Snavely.
Oh,
Mark
Mark.
Snavely superintendent was about 45-50 minutes long.
Yeah.
And he would,
Open again.
yeah, Starmont. But interestingly, what really works out nice, and it was an experiment. I thought when I first took this, I definitely want to be in each district every day. A lot of shared superintendents say you split it like 2 days a week in school X, 2 days a week in school Y, and then on Friday, maybe go where they were needed or whatnot. But I thought it was really important. I have set office hours and I'm in every district every day. And granted, every day it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in the morning, Durant, Wilton in the afternoon, Tuesday, Thursday, it flips. Because I didn't want to be in the morning specifically in Durant every day or Wilton in the afternoon every day. So, I mean, I experience everything, the morning and afternoon, and I'm in the district every day. So the principals know when I'm going to be here. It just keeping that office hour consistent. Now, there's been times, let's say I got a funeral to go to and I'm supposed to be in X school and it's a funeral in Y school. We work, but honestly, it hasn't flipped a whole lot. When there's times that come up. And I don't go to a lot of meetings outside the district. I mean, I joke to my superintendent counterparts of single districts there, a lot of meetings throughout the conference and state and whatnot. So I stay close to home. Because if I miss 2 days at a meeting in Des Moines, really I'm missing 4 days. Because 2 days in one school, 2 days in the other, and it doubles up that much faster. So take care of the home fire.
No, I'm glad you asked that. I mean, that's a valid question, and to know what's,
That's a year at a time. I mean, if either board decides they want to do something differently, it's a 12-month commitment.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Same with transportation. I mean, we get shared dollars on that. Everything on there, transportation, superintendent, human resources, we get operational sharing. Teachers, we get supplemental weighting. That's different. Okay. We get dollars for the number of kids that they serve, a percentage.
all right.
I'll move to approve the superintendent sharing agreement.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Move to approve the transportation director sharing agreement.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Move to approve the elementary band teacher sharing agreement.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Move to approve the Spanish teacher sharing agreement.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, the last one.
Move to approve the human resource director sharing agreement.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, thank you.
Under the informational piece, I already mentioned the hirings. We are busy with interviewing, setting up interviews, et cetera. Under the maintenance, I thought we had a really productive maintenance committee meeting. Tara and Tommy last week, and Andy and Angela. So I don't know if there's anything specific either you two want to report out on, but really it was just reviewing our SAVE and Temple funding on where we're at for this year and looking at for what we want to do next year. And I think there's a lot of good things on that list. Our facilities are relatively fresh, from the 94 here, but it's vision casting on what we want to do with the 59 edition in high school. And the challenges we face. If at some point, someday, we need to do something major on the high school end, We got a brand new commons on the south side, and we got a nice building here in the middle, and a brand new one on the end, so
And quite frankly, even the gym, I mean,
absolutely.
going back to getting the district tournament but as my kids get older, I get to experience more gym time. And
Mhm.
I'm in a lot of gyms and there aren't many as nice as ours. I mean,
Still.
I'm amazed at how many new gyms can't even,
Yeah.
they didn't even build it wide enough that they can't even get the bleachers all the way out. It was like, well, why did you buy that size bleacher then? Like,
I
I
was impressed that back then they had the,
foresight to
To
build what they
make-
built.
yes, I'm still amazed.
Yeah,
And
it's very, very nice.
And the commons is the capstone.
Oh,
Right.
I mean, we'll have 12 schools here on Saturday for a district meet. Well, even last night, if you remember in the past, when we had Jam the Gym and they were serving the food, the athletic boosters against the wall there where the popcorn machine is.
Nowhere to go.
It was just, and I was curious how last night would be because we let all the kids in for free, all the students. They just had to make it even more jammed. I thought, boy, what's going to be like? I have the boosters out there, the FFA out there, Jam the Gym tickets out there. And you know what? It was still really comfortable.
Yeah.
There was no elbow to elbow at all.
Right.
And I got stuck working concessions. I can tell you that there was a lot of people in that line. I mean, like I was surprised with as much that was in the other lines, how much traffic was still coming.
Yes. there
To the
was.
general concession.
It was a good take.
Yeah. Trust me, it was busy.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people visiting families compliment on the commons as we work concessions. I mean, it's common.
So I guess I would sit my comment off of the committee meeting is that all the stuff that we needed to do, nothing is like catastrophic. And which is good. That means we've taken care of things. And then B is that we have some funds that we were able to do that. And that's another wonderful thing.
Absolutely. So I'm always excited going into the summer. I used to say this to Joe Raggets in 2005, and I say at the end of every year, I can't wait to see what September 1st looks like because there's so much we do every year. And, I don't take it for granted. When I walk around a football game and I look at our parking lot, I appreciate the parking lot.
Mhm.
That was one of the first projects we did. And that was an $860,000 project. That used to be a gravel pit.
I know.
Out there, parking was just,
Parking was awful.
I mean, there's so many things that you just, why even walk around and look at around the high school, the gymnasium, we did that, flashing a couple years ago. There's just so many things. Yeah,
Huge.
no. So pool board, we have our meeting next Monday at 5:00, correct?
Well,
Or not?
yes, I wanted to talk to Maggie about, we want a meeting to pay the bills, but the city wants to have something too with these entities all put together. And I don't quite know how that's gonna work. Have them sit. I've neglected because I was gone and I need to talk to Steve Owens and see how that's gonna work. He goes, oh, we could just have a meeting before it. Well, no, we have to post it. We have to do this. And it's not just, and then they're gonna wait while we run our pool board meeting. I mean,
Unless we did the other meeting first and then predicated on the outcome, that might dictate
well, we still.
the needs of the
bills.
second.
It's just to pay the
It's
bills.
to pay the bills. We're not really having a meeting.
It's not allocated.
There's no decision.
No,
It's
there's no,
bills,
we just
right?
gotta pay the bills.
Can we do that?
Which your
Via
agenda
email?
could say immediately following meeting with city council. You don't have to put a time on it.
Okay. I just didn't know how that was, well,
Yeah.
I
That
think,
makes sense. So then the people that aren't on the pool board don't have to stick around.
okay, so because otherwise I thought, he wanted it first. And it's like, why are we having these people just sit and wait for us so we can do it after? All right, that'll work. I
So
just,
whoever can come to that next week would be great.
In the chamber,
yes,
Yeah, I will not be there. We're
Or
going
the
to be there.
chambers,
So we-
council chambers.
council chambers, yes.
Monday, right?
Monday.
Monday the
Monday,
13th.
yeah.
Yep.
And I'll be there till, I have a school board meeting at 5:30 in Durant, but I let them know I'd be a little late to that. So
No,
I'll be there part of the time.
can't believe it.
And I wanted to say something about the legislative one.
Not my
Both
idea, so.
Our senator and a representative were both there and they're both marks. Our new representative, I reached out to him and wanted to know a lot more about this savings thing. And he is willing to meet with us anytime about if we have questions. I thought if I contacted him a little later, once we know a little more how it's gonna work and what it looks like, that we could reach out to him unless somebody wants to meet with them sooner, but he seemed very open
He seemed
and.
He said he likes
meet with us.
coffee.
Yes.
Well, I think as far as the
Enjoy
regs go, the
Yes.
Department of Ed has to sort all that out and look for the administrative pieces of that. And so
But anyway.
that'll be good.
But-
But again, we'll have to see because they'll send us how all that works. I mean, we've had conversations, Administrator, I've talked to some of you individually.
Mhm.
You know how that works. If you take the tutoring piece and you spend it all in the fall and then you decide you want to go back to public school, you get to.
Great question.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things.
A lot of what if.
I didn't think about that either.
Exactly. So,
Huh.
and I'm not sure they did either.
No, I think there's a lack of foresight on a lot of things in that bill.
I-
You ram it through in 2
Pushed it a little
weeks.
through, in the middle of the night, voted on it, anyway. All right.
But anyway, no, that was good. And again, I apologize I wasn't there, but
That's okay. Tim did a very good
I
job.
was up at.
There's-
Relevant.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
wondered where he was.
That's right.
Okay.
I was at the casino.
Yeah. Did you at least win?
No, the Beavers did.
Oh.
That's right. So, that's all I have. We have a work session scheduled for the 22nd. Let's see how it goes on the 13th. That is 2 weeks from tonight, but at that point, we may even get to the point where we might interview that week. So I'm not saying we will or won't have a work session, but I'll keep you posted if you're okay.
Okay.
Because we might be on other things, and if I have something we need to talk about, I'll call it. Otherwise, March 8th, 5:30 here.
You better be here.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
Stick around.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.
It's your call.
Ending, yes, all right.